Do you think the culture overall of the fire service is improving or falling back? I ask that because you hear a lot of the old timers, the old salty guys, whatever, right? It's always, well, back in my day, it was this, or back in my day, it was that. And I get a lot of comments from people that are current firefighters. And I don't know, right? They're just names on a screen.
Right.
I don't know how long they've been in, but I get that all the time of the new guys suck, the new guys this, the new guys that. Do you think because you mentioned when a bunch of new guys come in, it's like a breath of fresh air with the enthusiasm and the excitement and the willingness and wanting to learn more. Do you think that's improving the fire? Do you think on the whole, are we on the upswing or are we kind of on the downswing?
I think honestly, I think the fire. In my opinion, I think the fire service. That's a difficult question because I do think I do think the fire service is improving. I think I'm not a political guy, but I do have my opinions, and I typically just keep them as that. But like I think society as kind of a whole, I don't necessarily know that it's improving, which is going to have some bleed over and trickle over. But I think I think the fire service. There are some things that we have done, some traditions, some things that we've done. You know, guys will say, well, this is the way we've always done it. Just because it's the way we've always done it doesn't mean it was right, and doesn't mean it was ever right, and doesn't mean that it can't change or improve, because there are some things that have gone away that it's a good thing that it's gone away. You know, it's a great thing. There's guys that, you know, we all run into them that are, oh, women shouldn't be on the fire truck and this and that. That's a bunch of crap. My sister's a firefighter. She works for a local department as well. We have fantastic women firefighters on my department. They could run circles around a lot of guys. And, a lot of the guys who say the things like that, haven't seen their shoes and haven't been able to tie their shoes in years, because they got the big blows and they're overweight. But, and that's, I'm not trying to trash people, but what I'm saying I do think that the fire service is on an upswing. I think society being so offendable, being so woke, if you will, is kind of making society in general and the culture in the world more on the downslide. Which unfortunately, if you work for a city, you're going to have that negative effect on your department because, we all know, funding and where the money comes from and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to affect, your culture and your fire stations. And, unfortunately, it's like we tell people when they're trying to get hired, you got to play the game. And so, you got to play the game. But I think far and wide, I do think the fire service is improving with training, things we're learning, the mental health aspect, that being able to recognize that we're not superhumans, we're human beings that put on, a shirt and go to work, and we do, an extraordinary job, and we experience extraordinary circumstances that are both good and bad, and they affect us, and so I think that with that recognition, that kind of getting rid of that stigma of like, suck it up, deal with it, getting rid of that, and it being okay to say like, hey, I'm not all right. Like, that call really affected me. I have 4 kids, and if I run a call, I have 4 kids between the ages of 7 and 2. If I run a call on a 7 to 2-year-old, it's going to affect me different than the 20-year-old kid who doesn't have kids, or the 45-year-old guy who's got, adult, 15-year-old kids or whatever, or the 50-year-old guy who's got adult children. It affects us differently. So I think in that aspect, I think the fire service is proving.